My speech analysis was on a TED Talk given by Amy Cuddy, who is an American psychologist and professor at Harvard's Business School. In taking the steps through the revision process, I learned a lot about my writing habits and skills that I have developed. The first thing that I did was pull up the comments written by Professor Davies and make a list about which topics I needed to focus on and change. Then I went to the rated rubric and read over what content changes need to be made. After doing this, I went to my paper and read over it twice just to see how it flowed, once in my head and once reading it aloud. After this, I just started basic editing. I went through first and added my header, the different first page with the running head and title, and then only the title in all caps on the other pages. I then added my page numbers and made sure the formatting was correct, with my margins and spacing. After this was completed, for all pages, I moved on to the content of the paper. I went line by line, editing different words and to make it sound more professional, as well as taking out ones that were unprofessional. I had to find a way to change the sentences where I used first and second person into a more generalized version of the topic I was trying to say. After this, I checked all of my notes given by Professor Davies and made sure I didn't leave anything out, and then I moved on to the rubric corrections. The main corrections that needed to be done were grammar mistakes, formatting errors, and adding more content to make the analysis clearer. I then moved on to my final reference page and had to insert the hanging indent and change my citation to fit the given guidelines from in class instead of using EasyBib like I had before. The three areas of improvement that I needed in my writing is my informal words or using first person, grammar mistakes, and formatting. The first area of improvement that I have is my use of first person pronouns and informal diction choices. In this informative essay, I took more of an opinion-based route and how the speech affected me personally, but after reading it through again and reading the side notes, I realized how informal it made the essay because it gave no basis to the information and it sounded biased. I have now fixed this and taken out all of the imperfections. The second area of improvement is in my grammar mistakes. I struggled in high school with finding a strong English teacher who taught me specific grammar rules because we never really focused on that. So the problems that I have had through high school have followed me into college. These include my overuse of commas, my run-on sentences, and my tendency to write how I speak. The most prevalent issue in this essay was my unnecessary use of commas and my run-on sentences, but once I was able to find someone else to read it, they were able to help me dictate where things should and shouldn't go. The next area of improvement that I need is my formatting. Given that I wrote this essay before learning everything dealing with the formatting for APA, I needed a decent amount of work. But now that I have those guidelines and directions, I am able to fix any errors and make sure it is in the correct format. For future references and papers, I will refer back to my notes while writing my paper to ensure that I am doing everything correctly the first time. That way I won't be overwhelmed with the mistakes I made and changes I need to make.